This week's episode of Still Untitled is brought to you by Acer. If you're looking for a laptop that delivers on both performance and price, check out the Acer Swift 5, which offers a powerful Intel Core processor, super slim design, and more. Go to acer.com, click on Store, and enter the coupon code UNTITLED at checkout to receive 10% off plus free ground shipping on a Swift series laptop, including already discounted models. Offers valid through April 30th, 2018, and limited to one per qualified order. Windows hello, the password is you, Windows 10. Now on with the show.
Welcome to Still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project. I'm Will.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Norm.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you too hot, Norm? You want me to
No,
turn you
I,
down?
I think I sound
too
good.
hot.
Too hot. Norman Chan. Coming at you.
It is 77 degrees in San Francisco.
It is lovely out there, let me tell you.
It's a really civilized temperature.
I was walking down the street on the way here today, and I was like, man, this is like the first day of spring, except for it's really like it's been like this all week.
It's the first day of baseball. Doesn't that count as the first day of spring?
Baseball.
It's the round one with the red stripes.
Yes, okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, the large men with the wooden sticks.
Hey, I brought a piece of new technology into my house.
Ooh. This is always a big thing for you. Hold on, can I guess? Did you get an Instant Pot?
No.
Okay.
No. Alexa.
Oh, wow. You're really getting in on late on that one, huh?
Alexa joined my household. I was. Here's the thing. I was totally against having a panopticon in my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was hanging out with all the technologists at the Mars conference.
Mm-hmm.
And as part of going to the conference, one of the bits of swag was a Echo Spot.
Uh-huh.
And I was playing with it in my hotel room, and I found it to be impressive. And
Put it in your Faraday cage?
you know what? By the end of last night, we were like,
You just
show me the shop. Show me the
used to
front
having the
door.
machine look at you naked to see how you look at it. How do I look today, Alexa?
They can
You're
have
looking
at it.
great, Adam.
Drink it in.
So my Alexa, my Echo has started going haywire lately.
Really?
Like there was a couple of days, maybe 2 weeks ago, where we just started having alarms that we didn't set off, going off at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:20 in the morning, 2:45 in the morning. And then I unplugged it, so I don't know how much longer it would have gone. And then last night I was laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and it was just like, the time is 12:22. I was like, well, I didn't ask you what the time was. Why are you talking to me? So I went from I've done the other. I rebooted her. It seems to help temporarily. I don't know what's going on with it. It's
Here's
weird.
the thing. I had a lovely dinner with the CTO of a large Fortune 500 company, and he has like 5 of these in his house, and it's controlling over 100 smart devices in his life. And as far as he was concerned, like it was all a net awesome.
Oh,
right. So that made me like, yeah, okay, let's give this a shot.
If you've done the smart home, like all the lights in my house are controllable. Like the whole thing is smart, right? It is a delight to, rather than have to pick up your phone and tap into the app and hit the button that says, okay, turn off all the lights. You just say, Alexa, good night. And she says, okay, well, see you tomorrow.
Nothing works
and turns off all the lights.
fast enough for me.
Oh, really?
I think conceptually, I think these ideas are all great. That latency, even like when you're just asking a question or having it transcribed, it's just
so
not
much better
fast
than
enough.
Siri.
Well,
honestly.
I'm saying in
Siri
general.
is the low bar.
In general, none
Siri
of them are
is
fast
okay.
enough.
So
Yeah.
we were delighted last night. We were like, hey, Alexa, play the latest episode of Pod Save America. Boop, it's up.
Yep.
Like
So
10 seconds
like,
later.
hooking into
5
Spotify, all
seconds
that
later.
stuff is great. I don't think it works with Apple Music, which was why I switched back to Spotify.
Right.
I find the Google one is even better.
Oh, wow.
The Google one started out really rough and has gotten very good.
Have you seen?
I have them through the house.
Have you
I
seen
hate
Eric
myself.
Chang's son working with the Google?
Oh, I have my own 5-year-old. I've seen it.
There's this amazing video of Eric Chang's son using the Google, whatever you call that thing.
Google Home.
Yeah.
Google Home, to learn Chinese words for things.
Oh.
So
wow.
he's like, hey Google. And Eric's like, you have to wait. And he's like, I don't have to wait.
Oh,
It's the most delightful video to watch. We watched it a couple times, I'll admit.
my daughter will, like, she knows all the tricks for the Alexa. She'll be like, Alexa, what's happening today, and it goes through and like, Alexa, sing me a song.
Oh, nice.
She asks
kind of songs
for
does she sing?
She sings songs that are designed to make people excited about buying things from Amazon. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
It's
Happy birthday, Stretch Armstrong. Now only $16.99.
2-day shipping.
No, it's like there's a song about 2-day shipping that it plays.
The merits of logistics.
Are you kidding me?
It's I'm trying to think. It's just like it's
automation is awesome.
Yeah, that's it. That's one of them. It's grim.
So parenthood is constantly being bombarded by shitty music. It really is. Either you're going to concerts at your kid's school, which, by the way, are delightful, but they're exhausting.
That's a choice. Not the concerts at your kid's school, but the music that you choose to expose your child to is your own fault.
But no, okay. So there was this back when my kids were like 4 years old. They bought some cereal that came with a Toy Story CD.
Yeah.
And the CD had 3 songs on it. And they're terrible songs.
You mean like You've Got a Friend in Me? Sorry, Randy.
It's more like they're all custom written for the CD. One is all of the aliens singing about the claw. And there's another one supposedly sung by Buzz Lightyear, and it's forever stuck in my brain because I drove around with my kids and they wanted to listen to it repeatedly.
So here's the mistake that you made when your children couldn't read.
Yes.
Yeah, once you introduce that to your we had a rule in our house when our daughter was young that like toys that made noise weren't allowed in the house until we heard what they sounded like not in her presence.
Yeah.
Because like she had some toys that could have made noise and she's like, "What does this button do, Mom?" I was like, "I don't know, it must be broken." We just never put the batteries in it because the song that it sang was so mind-numbingly, cripplingly awful that my wife's like, "Look, if I had this in the house, I'm going to need Xanax or something because it's going to make me completely bonkers."
So this Buzz Lightyear song was really unique because it was about how Buzz is like a sports guy and he's game. He is game. Except that the lyrics were, "I am game. I am game. I'm game." And it was like...
Wow.
And you just think there were meetings about this, and people were like, "Yeah, let's hire
Were
the
there really?
songwriter."
Were there?
The songwriters come up with a
I
rough
assure
draft.
you
This
there
is
were
great.
meetings.
Everyone keep going.
This is what the legal teams of Kellogg's and Disney Pixar were able to agree upon.
All right.
So look, here's the secret.
I'm gonna shift the topic.
Well, no. Look, you let him play sound. You let him play soundtracks.
There's no segue.
Soundtracks. It's always soundtracks. Those are the best.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So we listen to Miyazaki soundtracks. We listen to Disney soundtracks.
The soundtrack to Spirited Away is so amazing.
Spirited
It's
Away,
on my regular.
Totoro.
Yeah.
Inside Out.
Yeah.
Like all the Giacchino Pixar soundtracks are great. Just don't let them know that there's any. Yeah. Don't let them know that there's any music that exists outside of film. Like when my daughter heard the new Jack White album the other day, she's like, "Dad, what movie is this from?" Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, there we go. Shift your topic, Norm.
All right, I'm sitting
your
here.
segue?
We have a limited time.
I'm looking across the cave, and I see these signs.
Oh yes,
and
yes,
they're
yes.
new. I think these
some of my freehand typography.
Mythbusters, Sears Center Arena, November 10th, 2012.
No,
That doesn't seem new.
That's not the sign I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yes, Julie and I went to the March for Our Lives on Saturday.
It was in March.
What's that?
It was in March.
It was in March.
It was a march in March.
It was a march in March.
Yeah.
It was a lovely and awesome day to go out with my fellow citizens and let our voices be heard. Yeah, we made a couple of signs. Julia wrote a lyric from Hamilton. "This is not a moment, it's a movement." The lyric, of course, is "This is not a moment, it's the movement."
Yeah.
But and then I wrote, "I'm just here for the once in a generation societal shift."
Yeah.
It's good. I heard that in D.C. the kids didn't let anybody older than 25 speak, which I love.
That's
What? Really?
Yeah.
Look, I thought that Emma Gonzalez's speech, where I appreciate that some of you are getting pissed off that we're talking about this, but that's
Like and
what it's
unsubscribe.
gonna be. Emma
my new
Gonzalez standing up there for 6 minutes and 20 seconds in total silence was a masterpiece of rhetorical genius, and it was a really moving thing that all those guys
I
did.
love that that's how it was reported, and then she came out and said it was actually much shorter than that, but it felt long, didn't it?
Yeah.
Guess what? Guess how long it would have felt.
Guess how long
if
it felt hiding in a closet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh.
It was
So
good.
you guys didn't go to the march?
I can't go out in the sun that long.
That's totally
Wow,
understandable.
Will.
I had a
Wow.
big hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was down in LA for WonderCon.
Ah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, so we got to see some friends there.
How was WonderCon?
WonderCon was good. It's run by the same people who do San Diego Comic-Con, and for me, it's the first big like West Coast. I know Emerald City Comic-Con was a couple weeks earlier, and that's in Seattle. But for me, it's the first one I go to every
It's your
year.
kickoff of con season.
And I love conventions less so for the show floor these days and what's on the floor, and more for just seeing people. And seeing people
that you know, people
I
that
know.
you like, people that you admire.
Exactly, and
Okay.
whether they're droid builders or cosplayers or just people who I've met at conventions, that ends up being most of what I do at these conventions. Because the floor, honestly, it's a lot of the same stuff, and I'm really interested to see as people are organizing conventions how they're going to shift from, just a lot of the Funko toys or these mystery loot boxes that people are selling, and when do we hit peak convention? I don't know what it is. Yeah.
That's a good question.
Because you assume eventually, like all of the people that want to buy out of print Funko Pops are going to find a place to do that, right?
Yeah, and there's totally a case to be made for a type of convention that you pay, the admission fee for the day to go to. You're paying basically to go enter a marketplace. You're paying so that all the cool toy stores and collectible stores that if you're not in a hugely populated area, if you're in the Midwest or you may not have any of those stores. You're paying for all of those to be in one place at once. But then you're also paying to, like going to going to a craft fair, or you're going to a swap meet. Like you're paying to enter to buy more stuff.
But I mean, these cons aren't all about just buying stuff. I mean, for a lot of people, they are.
For a lot of people, they are, and there are panels, absolutely, and it's a place to go hear about the newest, comic book and newest TV show.
But the thing I realized going to PAX years ago is that for a lot of people, they go to PAX and Comic-Con and all these places because it's a place for them to be around like-minded people, and it's their shop to do that for the year, right? Like we get to sit around and talk about movies and comic books and whatever we want to talk about, video games all the time. But if you're in some place that you don't have a friend group, a circle that's into the same exact things that you are, you might not have a place to go talk about anime or a place to talk about whatever game you're really into right now, or to talk about, I can't believe that people don't have superhero movies.
I remember
the
very first con I ever went to was a Star Trek convention here at the big tall hotel, the one with the 50-story atrium downtown.
The Hyatt, probably.
I think so, yeah. And everyone, it was like a set from Star Trek, and everyone was walking around in Star Trek uniforms, and it was unbelievable.
You're like, nerds, these are my people.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I was able to purchase one of these, the badges that did that. That was Next Generation, those first electronic badges that came out, but you couldn't get them at the toy store. You could get them at the con. And that was awesome.
That feeling of belong somewhere is less scarce these days because of internet communities, and because there are these cons almost every other weekend
and
now.
Marvel has released $20 billion movies about
18 movies over 10
superheroes.
years. Exactly. So what is the next evolution of a comic book convention? Is it moving toward like a PAX or a Dragon Con, where it's less about booths and it's more about small panels that people can go in and meeting spaces?
Well, if you talk to the marketing experts, they say that millennials are interested in collecting experiences and not physical objects.
Oh, thank you, Will.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I had a really great phone call yesterday. Let me tell you.
I feel like I'm being lectured.
If you'd like to know more about millennial preferences,
Would you like to know
subscribe to my newsletter, millennialpreferences.net. Anyway.
And all of that really seems the pop culture and the outsider status of pop culture nerd culture, for lack of a better phrase, bleeding into pop culture seems to have culminated this weekend with the release of the movie Ready Player One.
Well, that was a really nice segue.
I saw it last night.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
it's exceptional.
Yeah. I don't want to. I'm actually not allowed to review the film for Kishore and Jeremy because they're watching it on Friday, and so I'm on an embargo.
They've embargoed you?
They've embargoed me under threat of blocking on Twitter.
You used to not sign any embargoes. And look how far you've come.
I know.
Friend
bargos
are totally different.
Yeah.
Friend Bargo.
I really want to talk about this movie with you guys, so I can't wait for you guys.
So we have to go see it? I wasn't planning on going to see it.
I think you should watch it. I mean, I think what someone say? It's Spielberg has not made a popcorn movie like this since maybe the Crystal Skull. What's that movie? Right, the Indiana quote unquote Indiana Jones movie.
That popped up on Hulu last night for me, and it said for people who like sci-fi.
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Gosh, do I want to talk about it?
No, let's leave
how
it. We see it.
In the spirit of it, it is if you've read the book, it is a film that pays a lot of homage and loves pop culture of the 80s, an era that we all grew up with, and the movies that we all love. So,
except for Star Wars, apparently.
Rights are tough. Yeah.
Who made the movies? 20th Century Fox?
WB, Warner Brothers is distributing this one. So it does that.
Used to shave off Henry Cavill's mustache.
That was Paramount.
I know.
I don't know what you're talking about, Adam.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that movie with you guys.
Okay, all right.
But
I will. I will. See.
My wife and child are gone on a trip all next week, so I have all sorts of time to go see movies for once.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
What are you working on, Adam, in the shop these days?
I just received a sculpture from Steve Neal, who made my beautiful Moonwatcher mask. It is I think we tweeted a picture of it yesterday. It is the Starchild. It is a full-size sculpture of the Starchild.
It's lovely.
From 2001. And, well, I've had a crap ton of phone calls today and meetings and stuff to deal with. But in the interstices, I've managed to make the eye mechanism for a pair of eyes that are in it. Now, I may end up making another eye mechanism because I've ordered some customized for it. I just had ones that were very close and high quality, close to the size I needed and very high quality.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the Starchild that we saw at the Stanley Kubrick exhibit, the traveling exhibit, was that the original prop?
I believe that was.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe that's the actual one. You can see the eye mechanics in there. So the eyes did move in the shot slightly. So I want to work with Jeremy to put in a little circuit that makes the eyes move.
And when you're talking about IMAX, this isn't the first IMAX you've made.
No.
The eyes move in parallel? Oh, they move not independent of each other?
The Starchild was actually kind of interesting because, yes, they move in parallel with each other. But the Starchild, his eyes aren't perfect. Like, they don't point perfectly in the right direction, and it's slightly disconcerting, and that seems to be by design.
Well, a lot of babies don't do that either, right? Like, they don't have focal until they're like 3 months old or something.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
IMAX are like the universal icon, the totem for animatronics.
Is it really?
For me, it's like when I think animatronics, I think iMech. If you show me a picture of iMech, that I know animatronics, or I guess robot hand, maybe like a armature hand.
But you know, when you're right, when we're thinking about like the Fifth Element masks that had the blinking eyes and the whole thing, I think about that, and I like that is very much a relic of the 90s film design to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of films that are weird and interesting for maybe bad reasons, did you see the Luc Besson movie Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets?
Mm-hmm.
Only the first 15 minutes.
Which is all you need to watch, really.
Yeah, you got the gist, probably.
No, it's probably the best moment. The first 15 minutes have like that great opening.
That cold open is really strong, and then the whole rest of the movie fails to deliver on that.
Wow,
but it's gorgeous.
Okay.
It's like, I'm really glad that he still gets to make movies. If that makes, like, I didn't like the movie, but I'm really glad that movie exists. How's that?
I think we've talked about this before. I think what is the last Wachowski?
Jupiter Ascending.
Jupiter Ascending was also like that. Like, I was like, wow, there's a lot about this movie that missed for me, and yet I'm really glad original, weird, awesome, high budget, high concept movies.
That's the thing.
Made.
It's more props on the investors and the sales team of whatever studio when able to get the funding.
Well, apparently that's one of the things where Valerian is quite brilliant at how Besson assembled the funding. And the details are not at the top of my brain right now, but I remember reading an article back when it came out that he had done it in a particularly clever way that limited the exposure of all the parties.
Oh, that's interesting.
And we talk about often, jokingly, and it's a real serious thing. Like the U.S. market is no longer necessarily the dominant market in terms of the revenue made from a film. So when we talk about a movie like Kong Skull Island, it's produced by Legendary Pictures, but a lot of that risk is taken up by like Asian investment money because they know potentially that movie it's going to be huge. And I saw Pacific Rim 2, and much of that film, it's not a spoiler to say, much of that film is actually in Chinese with subtitles. And I like that. I like that,
that's cool.
I can joke and say, yes, this represents the Chinese money interests. But I love the fact that they're making films not necessarily for the tastes of the American audience, Because then we're talking about films that
We're
are
getting
essentially what
culturally
we would
exp-
think
there's
about foreign
cultural
films.
expansion in it,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of what started with Ong Lee with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right? Like he made an Asian film for American audiences.
That was
And
not in English.
And it was not in English. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was lovely, and it
And
made
by the
a
way, the
bunch of
dubbed
money.
version of Crouching Tiger is phenomenally well dubbed.
I don't know if I've ever watched the
it's
dubbed version.
really good.
I'm interested to see. I'm going to go see Pacific Rim. I want to go see it in the big screen because I want to see the giant robots punch the giant monsters,
But
and I want them all to be
am I
giant.
right?
I want them to be as big as
There's not a ton
possible.
of giant monsters in this one.
I don't-
It's more robots fighting robots.
It's more robots than monsters.
Look,
Yeah.
as long as something the size of a building punches something else the size of a building, I'm
There
going to
you
walk
go.
away
All
satisfied.
right, we didn't mean to get pedantic
Yeah.
on you, but that is kind of our bailiwick.
I think that's as good a place as any.
It's a short one this
Good
week.
pat-
It's a short
pedantry,
one today.
yeah.
I have a heart out. It's my bad. I really apologize.
Would you want to give some shout outs?
Yes.
Speaking of conventions, we will be at Silicon Valley Comic Con, which
And
is in
we'll
San
be
Jose.
unveiling a really cool incognito walk with
Yep.
a friend of
Ooh.
Tested.
Yep, and
You're finally going to squeeze into the C-3PO.
I am.
Okay.
It just I won't have the back on it.
Okay.
oh, you'll be the one on the backpack. Yeah, you'll be riding a Chewie. That'd be cool.
Norm's Chewy. You're a C-3PO. It's perfect.
Backbreaking for everyone.
Oh man. I just had an idea. Okay, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So hope to see you there. And Maker Faire is like
Maker Faire
a
is
month and a
coming
half
up soon,
away.
and
Yeah.
I'll be there on that Sunday, giving my standard Sunday talk. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
There's good stuff this year. They're doing new sections. If you haven't been before, like they're doing sections devoted to new stuff that has never been at Maker Faire before that I don't think I can talk about yet. But
Yeah.
it's going to be very
exciting.
cool.
Then how about you and I out there in the audience? We'll talk about Ready Player One in the comments. We'll chat in the comments. We'll see you there.
Cool.
All right.
Good
Bye,
night,
guys.
everybody. Talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode, which was also brought to you by Google Cloud Platform. What can your data tell you? With Google Cloud Platform, use machine learning at scale to build better products. It predicts so your business can thrive. Learn more about Google's Cloud Platform at g.co/getcloudai. We'll see you next week.